So I know this is not SR30. We will be going back to SR30, but I was looking, I'm like, you know what, we have 30 parts, we're at a point where there's a little bit of a lull in the story. Because like, it's just going to keep ramping up from where we are right now. So, I figured, no, right now is a good time. Let's take a step back, stream another game for a little bit. And that's going to be Transformers Fall of Cybertron. So, Fall of Cybertron's kind of in a weird spot for games I stream on this channel. It is not a game you can actively buy. It is unlisted from almost every storefront. I got lucky. I didn't get this till long after it was unlisted from everywhere. But Amazon had a couple keys left, and me and my one mod managed to scoop up a copy. The other thing to mention, there is a group that is currently hosting a private server for Fall of Cybertron and War for Cybertron, and I believe Rise of the Darkspark. In particular, War and Fall are done by High Moon Studios. And when the Hasbro Activision deal was out of, I believe the contract expired, instead of renewing it, they just took all of the Activision era Transformers games off of every platform. This includes Fall of Cybertron, War for Cybertron, Rise of the Darkspark, all the tie-in movie games, Transformers Devastation. Everything was removed and unlisted, which is a shame, especially because we lost 3 of the best Transformers games we've ever had. War for Cybertron, Devastation, and Fall. I might do Devastation later. Devastation's a little bit longer in terms of like level length, but it's also only 7 chapters. I will say, I do hope that somehow these games can come back. These were all great. Or at least the 3 I talked about. So, the thing to talk about first, though, is you may notice that I'm only... Oh, yeah, this is 13 chapters. So, you may notice that I am only on chapter 6. I've beaten this game, but save data doesn't save to the cloud, so it's on my old reg. Yep, we're gonna restart. Now let's go.
We have no choice, Bumblebee. The war is lost. Leaving our home is the hardest decision I've ever had to make. It has been a long, painful war with the Decepticons. Whatever lies beyond that portal is our best and last hope, my friend.
We're approaching the portal. Data indicates it's growing more unstable.
At this rate, it may close before we even get there.
Megatron. Direct all fire on those tow cables.
Oh, there goes B.
All hands to combat.
Bumblebee, you with us? Optimus, he's coming around.
Thank the Maker.
He's been through worse. Voice chip is still crushed. Nothing new there. Base energon levels are almost normal. Overshields are charging up. I need to test your retinal scanners. Follow the light. That's it. On target. Looking good. How are your optics?
They're perfectly fine. So, let's talk about something really quick. Gonna pause. So, as Ratchet here mentioned, B's voice chip is crushed. If you played War for Cybertron, it is not crushed in War. In War for Cybertron, pretty much the entire cast for War came back for Fall, except for Bumblebee's voice actor, which was Johnny Young Bosch. And he killed it as B, I think. But the reason why they crushed his voice chip between games, even though there isn't really much time between the two games, is to make it more in line with something they were working on at this point in time, called the aligned continuity. The idea was they were going to have every piece of Transformers media at the time in one set universe. This included War and Fall. The main issue with this idea, though, was in the series that was going on, Transformers Prime, they crushed Bumblebee's voice chip. Much like they did in the Transformers live-action movies by Michael Bay, where they crushed it and he was speaking through a radio. I liked the idea behind the aligned continuity, but it kind of hurt these. I would say it kind of. They needed someone at the helm who would, you know, organize everything, because there's issues with the aligned continuity, in particular the concept of Dark Energon and the Primes themselves, and the events of these games. They're treated as somewhat canon. In terms of combat, say a third-person shooter flair, not really much to talk about there. There's things that they do, though, that make it stand out. We'll talk about that when we get into the actual bulk of the gameplay.
Won't give up that easily.
Teletrap, full damage analysis on all decks.
Firewall breach. Unauthorized access.
Your precious Ark will never reach that portal, Optimus.
Shield failure on starboard thruster.
I will tear your ship apart, piece by piece.
Optimus! Decepticons are swarming the engine deck!
I'm on my way. Bumblebee, stay and cover the bridge.
I'll be honest, this is quite possibly one of my favorite tutorial levels in a shooter. Just because it doesn't...
No, the entire
I'll be honest, a lot of tutorial levels I have issues with, because, like, you know, they stop with, like, the big text bubbles of, like, this is how you do this, this is how you do that. I don't mind it for a JRPG if it's turn-based. Kingdom Hearts does it in a way where it's like, you know, if you're getting something completely new, it happens between screen, like, between worlds.
You alright? Can you make
Usually, unless it's a minigame. But this game does it where the tutorial is you actually fixing the ship.
Hurry! I'll hold it open for you!
Bumblebee, I've patched into your optics. The service lift.
I forget this one's named. I don't think he's supposed to be Bulkhead.
We've gotta get out of here!
Nope, he's gone now. So talk about my little well, not my little, my long history with Transformers. I grew up watching Generation 1. I watched Generation 1 all on DVD. When I was a kid, Transformers Armada was just coming out. Which, looking back at it, Armada's last arc, the Unicron arc, is really good, but the rest of it is a mess. Mostly due to, as I'm older now, I've learned kind of what happened there, and I'm like, oh. We look, we can see stuff we're going to be seeing later. Okay, no, kind of talk, because we've just seen him. Talk about one of my least favorite changes in the aligned continuity, in particular Transformers Prime. Transformers Prime is actually a pretty good series. Like, some of the story concepts are really good. The one thing I would say I kind of wish was handled a little differently in the aligned continuity is the concept of Dark Energon. But that's neither here nor there.
Decepticons dropping in from above. Change your shooting hand for better aim and cover. Good hit.
But yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah,
Put him down. I'll hold the line. The defense mainframe is just through that door.
Yeah, Soundwave, though. Soundwave has always had this iconic modulated voice. But, in the aligned continuity, in particular Transformers Prime, he doesn't speak. he turned into a raptor drone, which is actually really cool. I like the idea of him turning into a raptor drone, but they got rid of all the cassette tapes except for Laserbeak, and they took away the voice for Soundwave. Oh, Steve Bloom kills it as Starscream. But yeah, I grew up with the Unicron trilogy, so I completely skipped Energon. I had a couple of its toys, but I missed most of Energon. But now for what? Oh, there's Bruticus. So one of my favorite things about this game is transforming and driving. Oh my god, it's so smooth. So, talking about something really quick, third-person shooters always have this, like, infamy now of always being, like, well, a lot of them are cover-based third-person shooters, especially the era this game came out in. Instead of having a cover system, you turn into a car!
Over here, Bumblebee! Fresh supplies!
Now you're ready to blast some cons straight back to Cybertron. Through here, Bumblebee. You want to be tip of the spear? We're right behind you.
Let's go, let's go, let's go!
Move out, move out! Target left! High left! Target right!
I'm hit! I'm down!
Push forward! Head for the smoke!
Centrifugal separator critical. Engine failure at 89%.
But, oh god, though, I love this music, though. This game's soundtrack is really fucking good. Someone described this and War soundtracks as being... War is, like, you know, fight music. It's like this grungy heavy metal. Where Fall is while it's this epic crescendo, it's also melancholy at the same time.
The whole engine deck is coming apart!
Keep pushing! Optimus needs us!
Bumblebee, I'll clear you a wedge.
Air 1-8 to ground!
He made it! He's through!
Gotta help Optimus Prime.
I can't see anything, but my scanners say Optimus should be right on top of you.
I think he is. There he is. Optimus Prime and Megatron.
Do the job. Even if you destroy me, Megatron, others will rise to defeat your tyranny.
Then I'll just have to destroy you all!
A war that has been going on for way too long at this point. If I could propose one change to this game, I would have left B kept his voice box till now, though that still would have caused issues with the aligned continuity idea. Just because they had a completely different story of how B's voice chip broke.
Cybertron, the home world we Autobots have strived to protect from the Decepticons, can no longer sustain us. Eons of civil war have caused the greatest of casualties. Our planet's very core has shut down, halting its production of life-giving energon. Most of us have abandoned our home in hopes of finding a new life among the stars. I am Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots. We do not know how many of our brothers escaped Megatron's blockade. I can only be certain of this. Just one transport remains.
6 Earth days before launch.